Hello, everybody. I do apologise. Take two of today's live stream, and I will not be doing a preview now. This is a review of yesterday's transfer window action. As they like to say in very cliche fashion on Sky Sports, the window slammed shut last night, and I'm going to go through each championship team. So, if you are in the stream, hi Adam, hi Jaggy, let me know what you think about your team's transfer dealings. And what we'll do is we'll try and give a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle for every team's dealing as we go through. Now, before anybody questions my information, morning Billy, morning Jaggy, morning Elliot, morning Zach. Nice populated stream here. Richard says Leeds was decent. Morning Cham, morning Joel. My morning animation, everyone's in today, great. My information is from Transfer Mark, so any numbers if you know slightly different, I'm just morning Jack, I'm going through that. They seem to go through on higher squad value, so we're going to start with Cardiff, and it's going to be distinctly thumbs down, I think, for Cardiff. Bobby Reid, that completed going out to Fulham. Lee Peltier went out to West Brom. That's not the biggest deal for them. Medine also going out. So really cutting that wage bill down and no money spent on people coming in. Albert Adoma, who was in my championship classic team. Morning, Irene. He's come in from Forest on loan. Brad Smith, left back. I suppose Peltier went out. So when you look at Cardiff, they've got parachute money. They've got a new manager. They have not really backed him in this window. Big sale out, 2 loans in, 8 million profit, cutting wage bill. Says a lot. Oh, Omar Bogle as well out to Den Haag. That's Pardew, isn't it? Signing everyone from the league. So I'm afraid for Cardiff, we are going to have to say a thumbs down there. If you're a Cardiff fan, want to see your team take advantage of the parachute years. Doesn't look like it's happening. Doesn't look like they've got the trust in Neil Harris yet. On we go to Fulham. Now, Fulham, this is a really, really big splurge. John says QPR makes sense financially. It doesn't look good if Hugo gets injured. We'll come on to QPR. Big splurge from Fulham. Jonathan says, if I wasn't mistaken, I thought this was a Leeds channel, dear me. Leeds obviously very popular in the Championship. Lots of Leeds in the feed, as ever. Lots of Leeds everywhere. I was listening to their podcast. They sell as many shirts, apparently, says Phil Hay, as everyone other than the top 6 Premier League team. So kind of just all adds up, doesn't it? Fulham, big splurge, 23.94 million. And interesting strategy, because we spoke about teams loaning players and not having the liability on their books. Well, they've kind of taken the loans and gone for the liability. So I don't know financially whether that's a clever thing or a bad thing, but they obviously converted Cavaliero for, it says 10.62 here. Bobby Reid converted for 8 million. Michael Hector was already done. So it's not like they've brought in a load of new faces. Doug Star says, what time of day do I call this? I was working the last 2 nights. It's not like they've bought new faces, but they've spent on the ones that they already had. And some people will say, well, why would you do that? Because you've already got them there. If you go up, you can then do that knowing you've got the Premier League money. But Tony Khan obviously dedicated to this project. These players will be there for the next couple of seasons while the parachute money drips away. So, he's backed Scott Parker. Remember, they do have the break glass in emergency of Mitrovic, don't they? That will be a £30 million sale, which would cover all of that. So I'm certainly backing Parker and those players, probably for a couple of years' worth of project if they don't make it this season. Jordan Archer, he must have a good agent. They've brought him in, presumably just as a third choice keeper on the bench. And Terence Kongolo, that's taken advantage of a bit of Huddersfield wage cutting there. You would have to say that's a thumbs up transfer window for Fulham on the basis that they have backed the manager and they have spent the money. So talk about Baptiste and Fosu, that will be coming up, and Anthony Robinson. Adam and Eve says good morning again. Right, Huddersfield. Remember the Cowleys came in after the last transfer window. So Aaron Moy, that has converted. So 5 million cash comes in. Loads of loans out, including Mbenza. They spent a ton of money on him. Brown out to Peterborough on loan. Kangolo obviously. Hadidjanaj out to Kasim Passo. I don't even know where that is. Anybody. Schofield out to Livingston. Diakavi out to Forest. Josh Karoma. So what this says is that the Cowleys don't fancy Sievert's players. Or Turkey. Thanks, Jackie. And a massive wage cut there. CLC says 5 million for Moy. What a bargain. Yeah, probably is actually. I think they've taken a loss on that, haven't they? They've gone a bit more English and lower league, as you'd imagine, with the Cowleys. Stearman in, well, that's a good signing. We had him at Ipswich, and obviously everyone loves him. Animation No, and Ben's gone out on loan to France. Toffolo comes from Lincoln. They're both undisclosed. At a guess, I would think 2 million combined, but that's me pulling numbers out of the air. Smith Rowe is on loan. King. We had him, he's a Premier League champion from Leicester. We had him go to Derby last year and get injured straight away. Willock, who was at Benfica, went to West Brom, didn't get a kick, and now he's gone in there. So I'm going to give that a thumbs in the middle, purely on the basis that it's such a transition. They're trying to obviously push out all of the previous regime and build. It's got to be in there. Animation says Huddersfield have 2 Premier League winners in their team. I'm going to say Danny Simpson's the other one. John is a West Ham fan, happy with Jared Bowen. Well, Jared Bowen is going to be the big story. He's got a lot of mentions already, but we've got to go on and talk about Leeds. We know Bielsa wants a really small, compact squad, no dead weight there. De Burke, another one who's gone out to Den Haag. Coyle's gone out to Fleetwood. He'd been on loan there for ages anyway, hadn't he? O'Kane has gone to Luton. I believe they've just kind of taken on his contract for the remaining 18 months. Shaughnessy to Burton, just to annoy me, it's an Ipswich fan, strengthening arrival there. Chibitsky has gone to, I can't even say this, Pogon Szczecin in Poland. Rumoured 90,000 a week for Big Kev. Who's that? Smarten me out there. Trade. Oh, Augustin, 90 grand a week. Bloody hell. So yeah, that's the big signing, isn't it? Jean-Kevin Augustin. It feels a little bit like a Balotelli, doesn't it? That hell of a player, but some off-the-pitch problems in his last clubs. Transfer mark coming up here with a market value of 12.6 million for Augustin. It just seems one of those ones where if it clicks, he'll be way, way too good for the division. Let's see what happens with regards Bamford. Will he play the two together? Unlikely. He didn't do it with Nketiah. Billy Bigbone says bankrupting themselves. Well, they've gone on. I assume there's a big loan fee to Red Bull Leipzig. Baps says we'll make Leeds 180 million in the long run if he scores the goals to get them up. Obviously, the most Leeds thing possible would be for him to get himself banned for 10 games or something for doing something crazy. If it works, he'll score 15 goals between now and the end of the season. So that's the standoff, isn't it? And I think Leeds fans wanted to see Radrizzani seize the moment. He's got the best manager they're ever going to get in this position. So Baps says just need 8 goals from him. That's assuming he starts all the games, I guess. He's certainly capable, isn't he? But Radrizzani's seizing the moment now. We've spoken about use the loan and stay inside FFP. That's what they've done again. So we'll see. Could be an absolute key signing. Remember Mitrovic going on loan to Fulham a couple of years back. That did the job, didn't it? But if it doesn't work, crikey. Jonathan says he thinks Ipswich would beat Hull now. There we go. Thanks, Jonathan. Backhanded comment. Ian Pervader's an interesting one, I guess. Bielsa's just going to see how he trains, isn't he, between now and the end of the season. And if it works, there's a chance of getting the team. We know Bielsa likes 4 wingers there We know he loves Harrison, though. We know he likes Costa. They're in there. Hernandez into the middle. Poveda, let's see. Really, really high caliber. Barcelona on their Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brentford. So it could be a good one. And they wanted the young Italian goalkeeper as well. So we've got to give Leeds a thumb up for the intent of that. They've brought in a high caliber goal scorer there. Can he do the job? Let's talk about West Brom, who are on a shocking run. We mentioned Willock. They didn't really lose him. Josh says, disappointed Leeds didn't sign a centre-back and a Forshaw replacement. Yeah, and I think from what we hear, he didn't even think they needed one, did he? So he's very happy to play fullbacks in at centre half, and Phillips can play centre half, and White can play centre midfield. Forshaw does need to get back, but we will see. Animation says best window West Brom. Let's talk about West Brom because Willock we mentioned they'd had on loan. He doesn't really fit in, but they've replaced him with one Callum Robinson, who I saw play at the weekend for Sheffield United. That looks a good one, doesn't it? He's not played much football, obviously, but top championship wide forward. We know Bilic loves the three attacking midfield positions. He's used Dejan Garner and Kravinovic and Phillips and Pereira. God, they've got a lot of quality there, haven't they? But how about this one? Kamil Grzycki, another one out of Hull. Contract running out. They've got him for under $1 million. It says 855,000 on Transfermarkt. Presumably, pretty kick-ass wage for him and a big promotion bonus if they get up. But Grzycki, that's a perfect signing for West Brom, isn't it? Bit of a fancy Dan, but he's got enough support there. Peltier as well, fullback. They've got good young fullbacks, so I assume that is just cover. They've certainly added quality. What I would say about West Brom is they've added quality in a position where they've already got quality. So they just added extra options, really. But we'll see if that ends the run. Certainly, Grzycki and Robinson over the past couple of years have been very, very good championship players. Derby, they won a game last night, didn't they? Bat says West Brom different. No Dejan Garner and Pereira. They're bang average. Well, they've got another two in, haven't they? Jimmy says provided they don't get docked points. Yeah, here comes Derby. Rooney obviously went in. Nothing else doing. Looks a quiet one. Not that you can ever call Derby quiet. Oh, Mason Bennett out on loan to Millwall. We'll talk about that in the Millwall chat. Hunt to Carlisle on loan. George Thorne. Full transfer now to Oxford. They lost a couple of players. So Derby, we'll do a thumbs in the middle because we'll just see how that goes with Rooney and the FFP. Borough, Randolph, that's converted now out to West Ham, 4.23. Matthew said thoughts on Rooney's time so far at Derby. Well, they've won every week and he's already scored 2 goals, so pretty good. Everyone's just talking about FFP though, aren't they? Borough, Randolph, they've cashed in there. He was always one of the top championship keepers, and they've replaced him with Dejan Stojanovic from St. Gallen. Is that Switzerland, I think? Just under $1 million. We'll see how that goes. Bolla, that was an interesting one. He's gone back on loan to Blackpool. Blackpool have done well, actually. I know we're not talking about League One, but they've signed well. Marcus Brown and Stephen Walker all out on loan. A few loans in, obviously. Roberts was already in. Nemecha was already in. Ravel Morrison. My God, if you've read Big Sam's book, you'll know, and Sir Alex even said Morrison could have been a hell of a player, but went to Sheffield United. All I would say is if Ferguson, Allardyce and Wilder can't get a tune out of him, good luck Woodgate. We'll see. Apparently all the potential in the world, but just a bit of a bin lid, so to speak. Harold Mukodi, a centre-half from St. Etienne. If anyone, Bap seems to know, if anyone knows anything about Harold Mukudi, do let me know. I know nothing about him. So let's go thumbs in the middle for Borough on the basis that it looks like a few gambles in there. Bristol City, they've done their usual. Let's talk about the loans. Owen Mason says apparently Morrison had a good attitude at play, he just couldn't get near the team, could he? So we'll see. Lots of loans out Leeds passed up this Borough centre half. So yeah, we'll look at that. Right, who says wake up, fool? Are you talking to me, TM? I'm awake. Bristol City, right? Loans out. Parkinson, Semenyo, Smodjic has already gone, hasn't he? Adelakan has already gone. Played well against Ipswich, and Taylor Moore. I did question whether Taylor Moore was good enough. A few mistakes. I think he does need that loan. And again, not me, Bloom. There we go. Yeah, a few helping a lot of Ipswich's League One rivals there, Bristol City. The big one is Josh Brownhill. And I hate to say smugly, we'll review this. If you watched my preview of this transfer window, I did every club's prized asset, and I suspect I picked Josh Brownhill there. It says 9 million to Burnley, so they've done well, they've developed, they've sold, they keep the cycle going. And they do spend the money. That's one thing you say about Bristol City. They're sustainable, but they do spend the money. In comes Naki Wells after Bennett. Afobe has gone. They needed that forward, 4.28 million for Wells. Josh says, do I think FFP have changed? Yes, I really, really do. So many more loans. They're a bit more careful, and that was kind of the whole idea, wasn't it? Wells proven at this level, doing well for QPR. And of course, Bristol City at QPR today, so he will obviously score, won't he? Centre half from Leicester here, Filip Benkovic. I guess that's the Taylor Moore replacement. So if anyone knows about Benkovic, they can let me know. But do you know what? I'm going to give Bristol City a thumbs up because they continually recycle, develop, sell, recycle, develop. Remember at the start of the season, we saw people like the young French midfielder whose name I've completely forgotten, who someone will remind me, that all, the purchases have already been done, the loans have been done, they always do a good job. Billy says no more Strictly, I don't know about that. What's the young blooming Bristol City central midfielder called with the big afro haircut? I can't even think. Masengo, thank you, Nick, for goodness sake, thank you, animation. There we go. Right, let's talk about Forest, because there's a little bit of a sense that they've had, they've gone for it a little bit. They always do every January, though, don't they? A few loans out. Adoma, Steele, Bridcut, Jack Robinson. Obviously, they got a fee for... Oh, Alex says Bristol City got Henriksen. Sorry, I did miss that out, didn't he, on loan from Hull. Pantilemon's gone out to Cyprus. Claudio Yakov. What a great championship crap house he was, wasn't he? And Chamer, who only came in at the start of the seasons. So they've moved a lot of players. Max says Forest gone smart, in my opinion. Strengthening areas we are short in cooling, including recalling Walker. Here as a League One fan, I'm all for getting Walker out of the division. Good player he is. So in comes Bong from Brighton. Anyone who's exercised in, will enjoy the name Bong, won't they? Fullback. That looks like a permanent, doesn't it? Undisclosed. Diakabi, how are they going to use him? Because Amiobi actually is playing quite well. You'd think that would be the position there. And a forward, Nuno da Costa, for 1.8 million from Strasbourg. A lot of pressure on Graben, so an extra body in there. You can't see Lamouchi changing the system, can you? And you'd assume he knows that market. I'm sure Diakabi played in France, and da Costa obviously for Strasbourg. So J1W says we had a good window, didn't need superstars, just scored depth. Cham says Forest made good signings, organised on Tuesday. Yes, I was there on Tuesday. Very good away performance there. I'm just going to give it a thumbs in the middle for Forest, just on the basis that it just feels like slight tweaking. Hey, that might be exactly what they need. Whereas when you're going for that promotion push, whoever just said that in the chat, it is good to strengthen that first team and bring in someone who's actually going to improve on what you've got. But hey, I don't know about these two guys. Billy says Forest will be great next season with a marquee, so that's what I'm talking about. Let's talk about Swansea. Animation's off to play football. Good luck, my friend. Enjoy. Swansea had already kind of done their business, hadn't they? 3 loans in, Gallagher, Guehi and Brewster. I think that's good. And then some more wage cutting from them. Baston free out to Villa. I bet he was on a fair whack. 15 million signing. Harry's gone out to Bristol Rovers. Peterson's gone on loan to Utrecht. Nordfeldt out to a Turkish team I cannot pronounce the name of. Carroll, free transfer. Carroll, goodness me, he was a good player once. Surely someone will take him, won't they? I assume, or maybe somebody has, and I'm going to read about it in just a sec. Let's go thumbs up for Swansea on the basis they've not spent any money. They've cut their wages and they have added some quality on loan. You just worry about this long term. Is this plateauing into a mid-table championship team, then ultimately fighting against the system? We will see. Brentford. Nobody out, only Mads Beck Sorensen on loan to Wimbledon. And as usual, Brentford, they're planning ahead. In come Fosu and Baptiste. Again, as a League One Ipswich fan, I'm quite happy that they've taken two of Oxford's best players. They'd already bought Dervis Soglu. Remember, with Brentford, we never know how good their transfer windows are until about a year's time, and they always tend to be good. Cham says Baptiste is pure class. Baps says Brentford, who knows, probably possible. Well, exactly. Yeah. And the one thing I will say about Brentford is very, not cautious, very sensible, though. Steve says, why is my streaming breaking up? I'm sorry, I don't know. It's probably just my Wi-Fi. Hopefully everyone can still see me. Let me know if there's any problems. My end, it may be your end. CLC says fine for me. So hopefully it's okay, your end, Steve. Yeah, it does look like they're happy to just keep this cycling and building everything up. They do look like championship type work, don't they, Baptiste and Fosu? But Brentford is big picture. They just want to keep on improving. And I suppose for Brentford fans, J1 says, to be fair, we have such good scouts and recruitment. These two guys probably be good. If you are Brentford and you don't go up, you'd say you lose in the playoffs, you go to the new stadium, probably sell Ben Rama for a ton of money. The players are already there. The climb does continue. So that is sensible. They've not gone and bunged 8 million on a strike. They're not in the position that Leeds are in where they just need to get over the line now. They can facilitate another season, I think. So let's give Brentford a thumbs up. When have we ever given Brentford a thumbs down for transfer? Sheffield Wednesday, Thornley to Blackpool. Blackpool have signed so many players, haven't they? For goodness sake, I'm worried about them. Connor Wickham. I didn't spot that, dearie me. So as an Ipswich fan, I could get the nightmare here of Connor Wickham and Jordan Rhodes up front. Two Ipswich giveaways there. Wickham will do well for Wednesday, actually. Perfect Monk player. That's a good sign in that. I know he's on a fair whack. Did Palace take anyone then? Anyone let me know? I'm surprised they've let him go out on a loan. There, Alessio De Cruz, a winger from Parma, on loan. Anyone smarten me up on him? And Manuel Hidalgo, another one from Italy. Interesting. Wednesday going from the for the Italian market. Matthew says, good luck to Wickham from a Palace fan. Matthew, have Palace replaced him? Can you let me know in the chat there? I think we've got to give Wednesday a thumbs up. That's a little tweak. They've not spent anything. Yeah, and I think Wickham, that's a good one, isn't it? Especially if Fletcher's out on loan. Oh, CLC says they got Tusson on loan. Interesting. Okay, right. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Right, here we go, everybody. Let's not all bully Hull, but we've spoken about this for ages and ages and ages with Hull, and it has finally happened, hasn't it? Oh, Andrew says Josh Windass signed for Owls. Yes, he did. That's not appearing on Transfer Market, so I do apologise there. Windass hasn't really played up front. I assume Monk will use him wide, won't he? Because TM says Windass is poo, do me. So, yeah, he never plays a 10. It's always a 4-4-2, isn't it? Or, yeah. Jaggy says Bowen determined to stay in the Championship. Well, it's the big story. Jared Bowen, 19.17 million, it says. Out goes Hull's best player, and also out goes Hull's second best player, Kamil Grzycki, Fleming, Milinkovic and Henriksen, also out on loan. We said for ages, Hull, parachute money running out, Bowen not going to stay there forever. Is this the death knell now for Hull? We will see. The replacements are Herbie Kane was already there, only on loan from Liverpool. You'd assume they'd want a small fortune for him. Wilkes He's gone from Barnsley on loan. AD says part of Hull's master plan. Yeah, a lot of people. Indy says Hull lucky to keep him as long as they did. Did have that option on the contract which allowed him to keep him the extra season. The interesting one is Marcus Maddison, and that's another one we put in the not necessarily Ravel Morrison bracket or Jean-Clément Augustin because he's a bit younger, but Maddison certainly it looked like they were quite eager to get him out of Peterborough in the end. Really good player, but some maybe temperament issues, character issues, and also he's not a winger. This is the thing. Are they really just going to have to change the way they play now? Because they're so reliant on those two amazing wide forwards, weren't they? And now, well, they just don't have anything, do they? So, Hull, good for the money in, but are they going to spend it? Got to go for a thumbs down, sadly, for Hull. Jackie says, I like Wilkes at Leeds. Think he'll do well. There's a positive for Hull. Preston, well, they'd already done everything. Jesus Christ, Maxwell to Blackpool. Simon Grayson has literally signed an entire new team. Yeah, let us know how you think Bowen will do at West Ham. We've all been a huge fan of Bowen in the Championship. He's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he? But did he need to go to a more a team that has a bit more of the ball and creates a bit more chances than West Ham? Let's just say. Josh Earl out to my team, Ipswich. Ginley out to Bristol Rovers on loan, and Maxwell to Blackpool. Scott Sinclair was the big one in. Otherwise, Preston, like Bristol City and Brentford, we always hold them up as the beacons. 80 says should have gone to Newcastle. Bap says he will do well. Lower Premier League teams are pants. He could be back in May. There you go. Anyone feeling cocksure, get your bet on Bowen to be Championship top scorer next season. Tim says, Hull signed Scott from Motherwell, 1.5 million. Transfer mark letting me down here. A few missed out. They haven't updated everything, so I do apologise if there's any I've missed out there. Tell me about Scott, someone for Hull. Is he a winger? So Preston already doing the business. CLC says, did he put a release in case they got relegated? Quite possibly. So let's give Preston a thumbs in the middle, only because they've done it. Other stuff. Jimmy, so we're talking about Luton as Carter Vickers comes to it. We'll see. We'll see what transfer mark. So Blackburn, nothing really happening. Sam Hart's gone out to Shrewsbury on loan. And Mulgrew, has he gone back? He's gone back to Wigan? Yeah. No, he's come back to Rovers, yeah. Right, so Blackburn, yeah, thumbs in the middle, nothing happening there. Stoke. And Dye went out to Trabzonspor. We expected that to happen. Again, it's wage cut, isn't it? Woods out to Millwall. That I think you use Woods if you have him in the Championship. Good luck to Millwall though, because they've got him in there. And Atebo, yeah, he was my most saleable asset out on loan to Getafe, presumably with an obligation if certain things happen. Stoke have brought in Thompson from Blackpool. Chester from Villa on loan. That's an interesting one. They like their kind of big, powerful, Championship hardened centre half. Chester is going to sort them out. Always rated him. AD says gutted Chester left. Got Tyrone Mings now, haven't you? Hey, another Ipswich. Tashan Oakley Booth on loan from Spurs. I know nothing about him, but I'm sure you wise guys who know. Jonathan says, breaking news, Hull are getting relegated. That's very cruel, Jonathan. If anyone knows about the young Spurs guy, I'll have to go thumbs in the middle there. Ravel has gone somewhere. Where did Ravel go? I've forgotten already. I don't know. Matthew says Stoke will stay up with the buys they've done. Yeah, I think Stoke are staying up, aren't they? Enough wins there. Birmingham, well, they brought in Bella early, even before the window. Scott Hogan on loan from Aston Villa. Did you see the picture of him looking very glum in the side picture? Hogan does do well in the Championship. Hasn't Middlesbrough, thanks, Dave. He has done well in the Championship. Hasn't reached that purple patch he had at Brentford. And sometimes you wonder with the Brentford strikers, is it the strikers that leave for a fortune that are actually good, or is it the pattern of play in the team? We will see. But Hogan, what you going to do, brother, when Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. When Hogan comes running wild on you, AD says, not so good that Hogan left from a Villa point of view. What is that? Has Fran Villalba left? Really? Villalba has left Birmingham. Deary me. A loan fee. Oh, that's a shame for Birmingham. He was very good for them. I didn't realise that one had gone through. To Almeria in Spain. That's a strange one. If any Blues fans know about that. Seddon out to Pompey. Bailey out to Forest Green. Stockdale. Now he's gone to Wickham. I believe, if I'm right, Stockdale is paid 30 grand a week by Birmingham. Goodness me, I bet Wickham are paying no more than 2 grand a week of that. So there you go. Jimenez, and Medina's gone. So it looks like Birmingham have really turned tail on a lot of Pep Clotet's signings in the summer there. Medina, Jimenez, and Villalba. Villalba was good. Yeah, dearie me. I'm going to give that a thumbs down for Birmingham, but Hogan might do well, just purely on the basis that they're second guessing themselves. Right, Wigan, let's get these done now. Poor Anthony Robinson over to Milan for his dream move, but it'll come for him. He's a good player, isn't he? Cole out to Doncaster, Evans out to Cheltenham. They've got a few loans in though. Dowell was already there. Can't pronounce this. Malaka from Brighton is a forward. Already got some forwards though, haven't they? We mentioned Leon Balogun. If anyone knows about these Brighton players, whether they're good. Yeah, Jamie, I did Huddersfield earlier on. Let's go for thumbs in the middle for Wigan there. Just depends how... Oh, sorry, Alex Dobra as well from Bournemouth. At least he's gone for it, Paul Cook. So, yeah, we'll see how that pans out. They need a tickle there, else they are going down. QPR. Has Tony Leisner gone from QPR? What is going on? Every time I've seen QPR, Tony Leisner heads everything away. So he's gone out on loan. I guess they were playing Masterson, weren't they? So, yeah, it looks like QPR are properly changing their style here. Wow. I don't know how much Leisner was being paid, but we'll see. Josh Scowen's gone out to Sunderland. Yeah, and the big one there, Naki Wells. John says 20 grand a week for Leisner. Okay, that makes some sense, but he was a good player for them. Jack Clark, is he going to get in that team with Samuel and Eze? We shall see. Do you know what? I've got to go for a thumbs down then for Rangers. They've lost Wells, they've lost Leisner. I know Scowen wasn't in the first team, but still a good guy to have around, and only Clark in. I'm surprised about a couple of these. Villalba and Leisner especially. Jaggy says, hope Clark gets his head together. Definitely quality player there. But Samuel and Eze are really good, aren't they? You've got to get ahead of those guys. First, Reading. Teddy Howe out to Blackpool, obviously. Blackpool have literally signed a whole squad. Josh says, Birmingham needed a quick play running off Jukovic. That is a good point. Jonathan, stop with the Hull fans. He's enjoying this one. GDP says, biggest deal on transfer day, obviously, is Bowen, isn't it? Manone, well, we knew that was going to happen. Josh Barrett, that had already gone, hadn't it? McNulty out to Hibs. In Calm, Felipe Arayunya, a defensive midfielder from Sao Paulo, that's undisclosed. And Ayub Timber Masika from BJ Renhe, a winger, looks like he's like Congolese or Belgian, if I can read the flags. Not sure what Reading are doing there. Obviously, the areas they're stronger in the central midfield and up top. So they've gone defensive midfield and left winger. Thumbs in the middle for Reading, not entirely sure. Millwall, yeah, Mason Bennett. That's an interesting one. Still only 23, isn't he? I think he needed to get out of Derby, didn't he? So that could be a clever one from Rowett. Obviously, Rowett used to manage Derby. I think in our society we should forgive and forget once people serve their punishments, and everyone deserves a second chance, don't they? So Bennett in says second striker. I can't see. Oh no, Rowett does play running forwards, doesn't he? Like Bod Varson. Ryan Woods, I think that's a brilliant signing. I've said that before. Bielkowski, well, they've completely mugged Ipswich for him. That's a good sign. They've taken Steele as cover as well. McCarthy, Elliott, you've got to give a thumbs up for Millwall there. They've not really lost anything, and they've signed very, very well. Right, Luton, finally out goes Nerfield, Ray and Jones all on loan to lower divisions. And they've gone for it a little bit here, haven't they? Carter Vickers in the Championship is very good, I have to say. We had him at Ipswich. Good player, strong, positionally good. I think he needs to get a move permanently somewhere and sort his career. But that's a thumbs up from me. The only thing is, don't Luton have a very solid central defensive partnership? Pearson and Bradley literally play every minute, don't they? So it might be interesting to see what happens there, because it's not the quality. Jimmy says club captain Sheehan also leaving. Where's he going, Jimmy? So maybe Carter Vickers, he's not a roving fullback in Luton style, I have to say. Speaking of fullbacks, Peter Kioso is coming from Hartlepool. Also, Ewan O'Kane in central midfield. Little tickle for Luton there. Really the key thing for them though is Brown getting back. Luton have a better team than Hull. Jonathan, come on. Josh, Ryan Woods 12 months ago was the champ's best central midfielder signing. There you go. That's my thoughts on. I've seen Woods boss several Championship games in my time. Barnsley, here we go. A load of players out on loan. Civic Green, Wilkes, McGeehan, Motley Henry out on a free, and Adebayo. Joe says, remember O'Kane's headbutt Ipswich? Yes, I do. Yeah, goodness me. Yeah, that was, 2 seasons ago, wasn't it? Leeds always lose at Ipswich, don't they? Strange, very, very strange. So Barnsley in, well, we have to have a pinch of salt with Barnsley signings because we end up not having heard of them. But I'm generally a fan of that. If you look now at what Chapman might be worth, what Mowat might be worth, what Brown, the big guy at the back got suspended, didn't he? What's the big centre? Diaby for Barnsley. But income, Solbauer, Swiss centre half, actually 29. Omar from Tower Hamlets on a free, love that. Ludovic from Salzburg on loan. Ritzheimer was already there, wasn't he? I'm always just going to give a thumbs up to Barnsley. The year before we got Tom Lee sent off, always a red at Town. And Luke Chambers got sent off in the last one as well, didn't he? So always a red card in that game. Hey, I don't think Ipswich going to be playing Leeds for a while. Put it that way. Indy says Barnsley are full of Leeds players that weren't good enough. Goodness me. I'm going to give Barnsley a thumbs up because we'll find out in windows to come how good their signings are. Interesting to see them actually go for an older player. You do feel in summer they're going to have to sell a couple to regenerate, but they know the market, don't they? Bap says Leeds B. Deary me. Finally, Charlton Athletic. Morgan's gone out on loan. He's had some first team minutes, hasn't he? To Ebbsfleet. Gallagher, that's a big loss. KL never got in the team. Good player though, KL. So Joe Ledley, that was short-lived, wasn't it? He's been released. I'm sure someone will pick him up, maybe in League One if they have an injury crisis. Andre Green's already there and already scored. FLB says Brentford going out, all out holding on to the BMW. Yes, we know they don't need to sell, now very strong position, Brentford, although if they don't go up, you think Ben Rama's gone. Just don't want to lose too many of them, do they? But Aidan McGeady, always an interesting player, very skillful guy, very good set play taker. I assume they're going to use him as a number 10, the way that Charlton play. Johnny Williams can't get too fit, can he? Thank you, John, for tuning in. Right, let's call it quits there. God, we've done 40 minutes. Thank you for everybody who's hung around in here. If anyone's got any questions or wants to possibly put their team forward, did I see the terrible refereeing Leeds female? No, I didn't actually. Yeah, I've been very busy this week. I do apologise. I did the Blue Monday podcast Wednesday and worked Thursday and Friday. Second half, I would have loved, I heard Beelzebul. There we go. Billy's still jealous that I've met Brett the Hitman Hart. CLC says, way Brentford play, they should go up. Yeah, going to be interesting. Jonathan's still talking about Hull. A couple of shockers. Thank you, TM, says good video as always. I don't really know who's won the transfer window. Possibly Millwall. How was the window for Ipswich? Typically uneventful. Hull v Brentford prediction, that's happening soon. We know who's lost the transfer window. That would be Hull, wouldn't it? So yeah, we would assume that Brentford can go to Hull and get the win if they are in shock now at losing their two most creative players. So yeah, big thumbs up, I think, for Millwall in the window. Leeds, where we'll see how Mr. Augustin goes. I'm not going to say Hull are rubbish, Jonathan. I'm not going to do that. Not that kind of guy. Who else? I gave a thumbs up for Wickham to Wednesday. Swansea possibly if the loan players work out. Forest in the middle. Bristol City, yeah, but that will come to roost over time. West Brom perhaps, but they're strengthening positions. I'm going to go for Millwall, I think, for the best window. Fulham, if they go up, obviously we'll say. I don't know. Yeah, Cole's saying Fulham, if they go up, obviously we'll say, they've brought in permanently those guys. So we will see. Joe says Leeds don't have a repeat of Leeds v Wigan last season. What I will say about that is Reece James does no longer play for Wigan. So yeah, that's possibly a vital factor in that not happening again. Right, thank you so much, everybody. Again, I do apologise for lack of preview and review in the week, but we will get a review. Thank you, Joel, for tuning in. That is the transfer window, everybody. No more signings, although I bet you'll see Joe Ledley and Tom Carroll pop up somewhere on freeze. There we go. Right, thank you, everybody, for watching. Enjoy the football today, and I'll be back later with a review. Over and out.